Hi, I am your Kingdom Spiritual Transformational and Life Purpose Life Coach, Patricia Booker, here with Kingdom Business. Well, we are empowered. Well, we here, we get delivered, and we get free. We know who we are. We elevate our minds and our spirits and raise and expand our consciousness. So as we walk in our true divine purpose and power, and that is the truth of who God has created us to be. Kingdom people, we are history makers, we are world changers, we are dream successors, we are wealth generators, we are manifestors, we are curse breakers, and we most definitely are transformers, more than meets the eye. Yeah, kingdom people, we are. Thank you so much for viewing my videos. Thank you for all the likes, the subscribes, the shares, for all of the financial contributions to my channel, and for all of the seeds that you sow into me and my ministry. Kingdom people, I really do appreciate you all. I thank you for the emails, for all your comments, for everything that you do here to contribute on Kingdom Business. It is so appreciated. Thank you, Kingdom people. Thank you. So, Kingdom people, y'all already know what I'm here to do, and if you don't know, now you know. I am here to drop this, beat this, word this message. Yeah. Kingdom people, y'all know I'm the chain breaker. Are you ready to break some chains? Let's go. So, Kingdom people, God's plan has always been to prosper you. God's plan has always been to prosper you. But before I dive into that, kingdom people, listen, in my last video, I spoke about how sometimes when I'm working with clients and there's certain things that I'm doing, something begins to happen to me. How in a way where God will start showing me something to do, like he'll give me an idea or a business to pursue, or just something to pursue, something to work on, to put in place, something in the plan coming ahead. And God brought this to my attention this morning. He brought all that to me, and he reminded me of it, and then he showed me that the reason why he does that, and he's able to do that, because I'm already where I'm supposed to be, and I'm already doing what he's showing me to do. And in that, he can give you more instruction. He can begin to position you for something else that he has for you to do. So I'm saying all that to say, like I said, he brought all that to my attention this morning and reminded me of that, and then began to explain that to me. That's why. So it goes hand in hand with this message. God's plan has always been to prosper you. So the thing is, if you're walking with God and you're following his divine instructions, you're following his divine guidance, everything he's telling you to do, and you're where he has you, you're where you're supposed to be, and you're where you're supposed to be because you're following his guidance. You literally have to allow God to show you where to go, show you what to do, show you, even I'm hearing literally where to move. And it's quite interesting that out of all things that will come up with is that, because for me personally, I've had some interesting things that I've experienced in places where I've moved. How the whole thing is, in each of those instances, it was where God led me. And in each of those instances, and I'm just speaking of this in particular, where you move to where you live, temporarily, of course, for me anyway. In these cases, it was purpose in it, and God would give me divine instructions. It would be certain things that he would bring to my attention and show me in the midst of these circumstances, in the midst of where I live, and something that was going on, where he would drop more, give me visions and purpose in whatever I was experiencing. The point is that he led me to those places. And while being in those places, and even now, it's actually happening right now, he would begin to show me other things to do, leading me into further purpose, leading me into, again, showing me different business ideas or certain things to do, certain things to pursue, certain things, purpose. And I just keep hearing purpose. So, of course, initially I was speaking on, while I was working with clients, that this was happening. That's what I spoke of in my last video. But the thing is, it doesn't matter wherever you are, as long as you're where God says be. God can tell you to take a trip somewhere. God can tell you to go visit someone, a relative or a friend or whatever. When God moves you to go and do these things, because you're where you're supposed to be, you're where he's led you to go, he would give you divine instruction. He would give you some visions. He would begin to show you, again, things to pursue. He would show you, give you ideas. Just drop some stuff down on you. And then will lead you into it. And I'm literally hearing, that is where your wealth is. He's leading you to your wealth. I'm hearing he's leading you to your promised land. I'm getting that, you know how you have to go through the wilderness, kind of like the children of Israel. But actually, we're going to get to our promised land, kingdom people. Even though the youth did enter the promised land, but the elders, they was just, anyway, they were so stuck on slavery. They couldn't understand God's promise. They couldn't even comprehend or perceive it or receive it. They just couldn't do it. But we can, kingdom people. We can. Point is this. All this walking through, you may have been going from place to place, dealing with this, and the other. A lot of that is you learning, you growing, God showing you things, God training you, God teaching you things. That has been your wilderness. The whole idea was always for God to prosper you, to get you to your promised land. So everything that you went through, and if you pay attention, God will give you divine instructions. He will show you what to do. He will show you where to go next. He be lining things up for you. And like I like to say, everything is linked. Everything is linked. You just have to stay with him and continue to follow him. Again, you're going to be walking through some wilderness experiences, but these wilderness experiences is preparing you for the promised land, okay? It's showing you how to put things together. It's teaching you. It's just, you get so much information. You get so many downloads. And it's a thing of helping you to put together the pieces for your promised land. To be ready to walk into your promised land. I'm reminded again of the children of Israel. Think about it, kingdom people. Their mindset. They had a poverty-stricken mindset. They had a mindset of slavery. That's why it was hard for them to enter into the promised land. They had a mindset of oppression. And I'm all somewhere else. I'm going somewhere else that I wasn't trying to go, but I'm going to go with it because I'm feeling led to go with it. I'm saying that they had an oppressiveness about themselves because they were used to being oppressed. And they couldn't shake that. They didn't know how to be free and be in their promised land, which is why they died outside of the promised land. I'm hearing they would rather die to enter the promised land. So what's happening is a lot of what you walk through, many of you have dealt with people trying to oppress you. Now, we know in this world we live in, it's kind of just how it go. The people who sort of, in their mind, think they control and make the rules, and which they kind of do, it's an oppressiveness about it. It's a way of trying to dictate and control. And then you have people around that try to do the same thing. And so what happens is, in all that, you are learning how to identify, recognize that, and be free of that. And that helps you to get into your promised land. Again, this is part of your wilderness experience. Because you're learning, you're evolving, you're growing, you're able to identify. A lot of this has been learning how to identify devils, demons. You have to know who's who. He has sent his sheep among wolves. So there are many wolves out here in sheep's clothing. And a lot of our wilderness, a lot of our training is being able to identify who's who. So we know how to move. And it's just a lot to it. I don't want to go too much into that. Point is, God's plan has always been to prosper you. And all of that wilderness contributed to him prosper you. Because see, what couldn't happen is this. You couldn't get over in the promised land and then people be trying to snatch your stuff. Which is why God causes you to be able to identify people who are trying to steal your stuff, take your inheritance, take your promises, block, stop, all that old goofy stuff. He wants you to be able to identify these kind of people who are not good for you, who can't go where you're going because you're entering into your promised land. So part of your wilderness is is to teach you, to show you. In the midst of all this, he's dropping down things. You're building up to your promised land. Yes, you are. And you're dropping off things, those people that don't belong in your promised land. And so I'm saying all this to say God's plan was always to prosper you. His plan was always to prosper you. And he's been prospering you all along. You letting go of the dead weight or just not entertaining it. Because sometimes at some point it's not a matter of letting people go, removing yourself from people. It's a thing of not letting them in at all. Because at some point now you know what it looks like, what it smells like, how it acts, how it moves. You know it all too well because you've had so much training, so you don't have to get rid of. You just won't let it in. And when you really get to that place where you just know not to let it in, because you already know, you are entering into your promised land. Going back to what I was saying, it has always been God's plan to prosper you. God has been prospering you all along. Everything you've been going through has been a part of him prospering you. Again, wilderness. You've been walking in your wilderness. Learning, growing, seeing, learning how to overcome a lot of things, because in that promised land, it's flowing with milk and honey. And flowing with milk and honey is a thing of just being in a place of abundance, being in a place of good health, in good spirits. You feel good, you smell good, you're eating good, you're walking good. It's just all good. And so what happened again, in your wilderness, you had to let go of a lot. I'm reminded of one of my sisters who spoke on the bag lady. Carrying all that stuff. Y'all know Erykah Badu's song, bag lady, you gonna hurt your back. Carrying all them bags like that. God has been helping you to let go of a lot of baggage. Let go of a lot of whatever. And a lot of times it is people. Many times it's just your own stuff. Just from living in this world, you pick up stuff and stuff happen. And people try to put stuff on you. So part of your wilderness experience was letting go of those things, while God, at the same time, God is teaching you and showing you things, again, for him to prosper you, for you to enter into your promised land. Okay, so everything, and I do mean everything, especially when you walk this out with God. Yeah, you may have bumped your head a little few times, and hey, so what? You always like, okay, oopsie. When you recognize that and don't keep going in a wrong direction, or a direction that's not good for you. In other words, when God speaks, because God will let you go in some stuff for a while. He'll be like, okay, enough of that. Let's go. Let's do this. Time to do this. And you do. That means that you are walking with God. That means you are where you're supposed to be. Because when he say it's over with, let's move on, you do. So, again, all that was part of your wilderness. Again, God has been prospering you all along. It has always been his plan to prosper you. Listen, Jeremiah 29:11-12 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. In those days when you pray, I will listen. If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. So what is God saying? He knows his plans for you. It's not for disaster. It's for a future and a hope. He knows his plans to give you that great future, to prosper you. And everything you're walking through, especially when you're walking through it with God, even if you wasn't at first, but you got on his note. And if you ain't on his note, I don't know what you're doing here. No, I'm just playing. But if you're not, get there. Because you're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. Even if you think you're here for one reason, to be stalking. Really, you're learning. Really, you're learning. Even if you think you're learning me and studying me to try to get me. I promise you, you're here to really learn how to get on the right course. But it's up to you. It's all up to you. Yeah, so it has always been God's plan to prosper you. Even you too, stalkers. Even you too. If you're here for the wrong reasons, his plan has always been to prosper you. But again, it's up to you. You got to get on the right foot. You got to get on the right foot. And yes, you too will have to go through a wilderness, which is a whole nother subject. God had just been talking to me about them ones that just want success like that. They just want things to happen like that. It's like, no, you got to walk this out. Sometimes people see you, kingdom people, and they want to be where you at, not understanding all what you had to walk through. They want to be where you at. They got to walk through some things. They can't just get it like that. You got to walk through some stuff. And what God have taught me, he would start giving them circumstances and situations that maybe you even had to walk through. Since they want to be like you, here, deal with the kind of stuff you had to deal with. Or recover from the stuff you already got up in you. Because these kind of people don't like to deal with their internal issues. They just want the outside rewards. But the outside rewards for us kingdom people come from doing the inner work and walking this out with God. They just want it without doing the work. And it don't go like that. It don't go like that. But again, they can get there, but it's up to them. It's up to them. But for us kingdom people who are already doing this or in training, kingdom people in training, it has always been God's plan to prosper you. It has always been his plan. It's just a matter of how you walk through your wilderness. It's just a matter of you learning the lessons you need to learn. I'm literally hearing it's just a matter of some of you facing your demons. Facing them and getting free from them. Yeah, getting delivered, getting healed, delivered and free. And that means healing yourself, allowing God to heal you. Yeah, and it's not going to happen overnight. Let me just tell you, it don't go like that. It's a journey. It's a walk. Wilderness. It's a wilderness experience. So yeah, it's going to take some work. And it's a walk with God. The work is the walk with God, the trust with God, the obedience to God. But in all that, you will prosper and you will get that future and that hope that he has for you. So anyway, kingdom people, God's plan has always been to prosper you. God's plan has always been to prosper you. Yes, you. Come here. Come here. Come closer. You. Yep, you too. You too. Kingdom people, I'm going to let that rest right there. If you like this video and or if it resonates with you, please just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, click on that red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Then click on that bell right next to that red subscribe button so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video, something like this one, kingdom people. Also, if you are interested in any of the services that I presently offer, you can find all the information right down below in the description box. And yeah, kingdom people, if you would like a free copy of my ebook, The Girl in the Mirror by Sheila Brooks is my pen name. please go ahead and email me at kingdomtrish@gmail.com, and I will get that information out to you so that you can download a free copy of that ebook. Also, if you would like to be a blessing to me, my ministry, and my channel, you can cash out me at cash.me/$LBooker1. Again, that is cash.me/$LBooker, and the number 1. You can also PayPal me at paypal.me/LaTrisha Again, that is paypal.me/LaTrisha Kingdom people, we are history makers, we are world changers, we are dream successors, we are wealth generators, we are manifestors, we are curse breakers, and we most definitely are transformers more than meets the eye. Yeah, kingdom people, we are. Kingdom people, I love you all so very much. I really do appreciate you all being here with me, spending this time with me. With that being said, much love, light, and peace, and many blessings to you all. Kingdom people, that is my time. You know who? Me. G. Jesus girl. This Jesus girl right here. She is out. Peace.